Today I am going to deal with another important topic called measurement scales in statistics. As you know, statistics is full of techniques, quantitative techniques, but you must be able to understand what kind of techniques will be applicable for the nature of variable. So in this video, I am trying to make that clear about measurement scales. So in this video, you are going to learn different measurement scales through statistical tools, and once you understand the measurement scales, you also be able to define the variable, and by defining a variable, it could be very easy to enter data in a software, in the statistical software, maybe SPSS, Python, R, SAS, whatever. In all this statistical software, you need to enter data, and while you are entering data, you have to decide which type of variable, which type of measures which is falling under. So unless you understand measurement scale, you cannot enter data in the software. Also, application of statistical tools, you will learn how measurement scales will be applied in the statistical tools. And finally, one more very important element you are going to do is you will be able to convert real world variables into measurement scales. In the sense, select any variable, you will be able to define the type of measurement scale which is falling under, and which is a detailed overview on measurement scales. Please do not miss this video. Watch for the whole video. You will have a thorough understanding over measurement scales. There are two confusing words that are counting and measurement, which frequently used by everybody almost. For example, if you want to know the number of pages in a book, you can count it very easily. And if you want to know the height of yourself, you can easily measure it. But to make these measurement and counting understandable by the statistical tools, in the statistics, act of counting and measurement is divided into 4 levels of measurement scales. Very, very important, 4 levels of measurement scales. What are those? So that is, you might know already: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and finally ratio scale. And I promise you, you will have a thorough understanding on all these 4 scales in this video. Then let us go one by one. Then let us know about nominal scale. In Latin, nomen means name. The word nominal has come from the Latin word that is nomen. So it means in the nominal scale, we divide the object or variable under study into 2 or more categories. So in the sense, we entertain categorical data in nominal scale. We categorize by giving them unique names, symbol, text, whatever. In the sense, in the nominal scale, we divide the objects or variables under study for more or 1, 2 or more categories by assigning them a unique name or symbol. Normally, when we want to categorize the data based on the characteristics, in the sense gender, race, region, religion, etc., we use the nominal scale. In nominal scale, the statistical operation are possible only equals to or not equals to. More than this, it is not possible, and it is a nominal scale. In the nominal scale, you can apply the very, very least possible statistical tools. And to be more familiar, let us have some example over the nominal scales. Consider a gender. If you want to make a category based on the gender, you need to divide the whole population into 2 categories, such as male, female. In the rarest case, you can also give others or transgender. These are the common names, and for those names you can give code as male as 1, female as 2. So here the population gender is divided into 2 categories. You have made a 2 category, and under the whole population, those 2 categories are falling. So here we just given a code or name or symbol to the category of the population. Consider one more example. If you want to categorize based on the caste, Here we have different categories. Here we have a code allotted to the respected categories. We can divide the whole population based on general, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, backward classes and others. For general, you can just give GN, and scheduled caste you can give SC and ST, BC, Z others. O. Also you can give general as 1, scheduled caste as 2, scheduled tribes as 3, backward classes as 4 and others as 5. What we have done is, we have assigned a name, assigned a symbol to the category of caste. Let us have some more example of this concept. We want to make a very clear about this. If you want to make category of region, geographical region, consider here as India. We want to categorize the Indian region. The study undertaken is the whole Indian population have taken for study. So in the whole Indian population, we have 28 states, 7 union territories. Together we can classify as 35 categories. For these categories, you can assign just numbers or alphabets or whatever the symbol as per your wish. But it must be decoded by you. Consider the sports. In the cricket, maybe Tendulkar named as Stan, some Kohli named as something like that. Cricket, kabaddi, kho, hockey, whatever the game you take, in every sports event, the number allotted to the participant, which is also come under nominal scale, because we have categorized the participant based on the number. And to be more clear about this concept, one more very important consideration in nominal scale is realism. If you want to categorize your population based on religion, you can categorize Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isaiah and others. For Hindu, I can give name as a number as 1. For Muslim, I can give 2. And Sikh, I can give 3. Isaiah as 4 and others as 5. Very importantly, what you want to keep in your mind is, we note in the nominal scale, we have just coded the objects. But here you cannot say by this sign the Hindu is lesser than Muslim, Muslim is greater than Hindu. It does not make any sense in the nominal scale. This is here we have coded Hindu as 1, Muslim as 2, Sikh as 3, Isaiah as 4 and others as 5. Just we have coded. But Hindu greater than Muslim, Muslim greater than Hindu does not really make any sense. Similarly, we cannot say male is greater than female, female is greater than male. It does not make any sense in nominal scale. That is why I told you in the initially, it is a least. In nominal scale, you can apply least possible statistical tools. So then let us move to the another scale, measurement scale in statistics, that is ordinal scale. I told you in the nominal scale, we cannot say Muslim is greater than Hindu, Hindu is greater than Muslim. But here in ordinal scale, we can make that comparison by placing the object in a series based on the orders or rank given by using ordinal scale. But we can say just greater than Muslim is greater than Hindu, Hindu is greater than Muslim, just we can say. But here we cannot find actual difference between the two categories. The difference between male and female we cannot find. We cannot say how much greater male than female, how much greater female than male. We cannot say like that. We can just compare based on the order of ranks. Something is greater than something. Generally, we use ordinal scale while we are measuring attitude scores towards the level of liking, satisfaction, preference, and such other things. If you are given a list of ice creams, you can categorize 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. It is based on your likability. In the sense, you cannot say how much you like strawberry than vanilla. You have just given a preference, your preference. So here statistical operation can be lesser than or greater than, including equal or not equal. Lesser than or greater than can also be performed. Let us be more clear with some examples. We want to get an opinion of a person about proposal of introducing co-education in a college. Suppose we assign strongly agree as 1, disagree as 2, indifferent or neutral as 3, agree, strongly disagree as 4 and 5 respectively. Mathematically we can symbol here strongly agree is greater than disagree, disagree is greater than agree, strongly agree is lesser than strongly disagree. We can say mathematically like that. This is possible because the population whole respondent given 80% of the respondent opted for first preference, that is strongly disagree. Based on that I can say strongly disagree is greater than agree, strongly agree, disagree. But actual difference between strongly disagree with disagree, indifferent, agree, strongly agree is not possible in ordinal scale. And to be more clear, suppose a schoolboy is asked to list the name of 3 ice creams. It can list vanilla first, strawberry second, tutti frutti as third, based on that boy likability towards the ice cream. The boy can say, I like vanilla ice cream so much. When that boy having the options to have vanilla, strawberry, tutti frutti, it will select first preference as vanilla. But we cannot measure how much that boy like vanilla than strawberry, tutti frutti. It is his satisfaction, his preference. To continue with some other examples for the ordinal scale, in the 6th pay commission, teachers of colleges and university are designated as assistant professor, associate professor and professor. And here the rank of professor is higher than the associate professor, and designation of associate professor is higher than the assistant professor. But you cannot find the actual difference between the professor and associate professor, or professor and assistant professor, or associate professor and assistant professor, because these designations given based on the number of years served, number of achievements made, and so many things. You cannot give the actual difference between these category, these designations. And if you want to know the economic condition of family, generally families in society are divided into 3 categories. One is higher class, middle class, lower class. Everybody knows that the economic condition of higher class family is better than the middle class family, and middle class family is in a better condition compared to the lower class family. But the actual difference between the economic condition of higher class family and middle class family, or between the middle class family or lower class family, can't be measured, because you can just compare, you can just put into the category of order, rank or whatever, but you cannot say the actual difference. If you want to know the actual difference, you need to go for interval scale. Then let us be familiar with the interval scale too. As we know, nominal scales gives only names to the different category, and ordinal scale, moving a step ahead, also provides the concept of order between the categories. And interval scale, moving one more step ahead to the ordinal scales, which provides the characteristics of difference between any 2 categories. So if you want to know how it works, if 1 I is equal to 4 and 5, the length of this interval, you can come to know 9 minus 4 is 5. The name itself is telling interval between 2 objectives, 2 variables. In the sense, we can find the exact difference between any 2 points of the interval. That is why it is named as interval scale. Then where do we use this interval scale is very important. We want to know, if we want to measure years, historical time, calendar time, temperature except Kelvin, temperature, sea level, or marks in the test, in such a cases we can use interval scale. In the interval scale, the statistical operation like plus, minus, greater than, lesser than, equal or not equal can be possible. One thing is clear, when you are talking about ordinal scale, the feature of nominal scale is included in ordinal scale. When you are talking about interval scale, the feature of Nominal scale and ordinal scales have included in that scale. And when you are talking about ratio scale, all the three features are included in the ratio scale, which are categorized from lowest level to highest level of application, statistical application. And one more very important consideration in interval scale is this scale is applicable when there is no fixed origin in the scale. In the sense, you cannot find the exact zero when you are talking about years. When you are talking about years, you cannot find exact zeros. In such cases only, interval scales will be applicable. Let us have some examples to be more clear with interval scale then. As I told you already, measurement of time of an historical event comes under the interval scale. Because in the year, there is no fixed origin of time, that is 0 year. You cannot find something like 0 year. This is just because as 0 year differ calendar to calendar or society to country. Example, Hindus having some other calendar, Muslims having other calendar, Hebrew calendar also there. And these calendars having different origin of time. That means 0 year is not defined. In Indian history, we may quote like before Christ or after Christ, like that. In the year we cannot define the 0 year, so it is falling in the interval scale. And measurement of temperature in degree of Celsius comes under interval scale. Here also, there is no fixed origin of 0. In degree Celsius, origin is arbitrary. That is why measurement of temperature degree Celsius comes under interval scale. Since the temperature is arbitrary in Celsius, we cannot say 30% degree is twice hot as 15% degree. Because if it is so, then we can say that 4% degree is -1 times to -4% degree Celsius. While doing so, it does not make any sense and it is meaningless. And one more example is measurement of sea level also comes in the interval scale, because it varies place to place and time to time. So measurement of sea level comes under interval scale. One thing is clear, in the interval scale there are two concepts. One, there must not be any fixed interval, fixed origin, in the sense you can take the example of year. You cannot say there is a 0 year. In such a case, you can apply interval scale. And one more thing, using interval scale, you can exactly find the difference between two variables, two objects. That is clear. And 90% of statistical tools you can apply with the interval scale. And last but not the least, let us know the scale, that is a ratio scale. And ratio scale is the highest level of measurement. In the ratio scale, you can consider names, orders, and characteristics of difference. Along with that, it provides a natural zero, absolute zero, which was absent in the case of interval scale. But you must be very careful. In ratio measurement scale, value of characteristics can't be negative. Consider, I have listed here very important variables which are coming under ratio scale. Ratio scale is used when we want to measure the temperature in Kelvin. We want to measure the weight, height, length. We want to know the age, because age having 0 year, no? A fresh baby birth just now, and that age is 0. And mass, time, plane angle, etc. All the statistical tools can be applied here. So ratio scale includes multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, lesser than, greater than, equal, not equal, and everything is possible in the case of ratio scale. As I said you must be very careful. In the denominator, 0 can't be considered while finding ratios. For example, 4 by 0 is really meaningless because it gives 0. To make this ratio scale clear, I will give you some example through which you can understand what is ratio scale. Measurement of temperature in Kelvin scale comes under the ratio scale because it has absolute zero, which is equivalent to 273.15 degrees Celsius. This characteristic of origin allows to make a statement like 50 Kelvin degree is 5 times hot compared to 10 Kelvin. So it is coming under ratio scale, which give a clear zero. And measurement of money also come under ratio scale because it satisfies all the requirements of interval scales, and also it has natural zero. So zero is the absence in interval scale. When money is satisfied zero also after satisfying interval scale, it is coming under ratio scale. For example, suppose there are 60 teachers in a particular schools in Delhi. If we associate a unique number to each teacher related to the cash, in the sense rupees, he or she has with him or her at the time of investigation, then we have a fixed whole number corresponding to each teacher. Of course, 2 or more teachers must be having the same cash. Here very importantly you can consider the whole number allotted to teacher can be ordered. Number allotted means nominal scale. We can keep them their name based on the money within their hand can be ordered, and we can also have actual difference between the each teacher the holding money, and also have origin of zero. Here natural zero indicates the absence of money in the pocket of the teacher. If a teacher has 500 rupees and another teacher has 100 rupees, then we can say the teacher having 500 rupees has 5 times amount than the teacher having a 100 rupees. Thus, by inspecting all this, it satisfies all the requirements of ratio scales in the sense nominal scale, interval scale and ordinal scale. All the scales characteristics is satisfied with money. So it is coming under ratio scale. Also, both height and age of student of MSc in statistics of particular university satisfy all the requirements of ratio scales, because height and age both can't be negative, which means which also give a absolute zero. So it is coming under ratio scale. So in this way we classify measurement scales on very importantly 4 measurement scales, which are very basic for applying statistical tools. In the next video I will give you a detailed lecture on how to choose a particular statistical tools. Permissible statistical tools with these measurement scales I will teach. Thank you so much for watching.